A 117-meter super yacht just slid out of a German shipyard, and the yacht world basically stopped scrolling, because this wasn't a normal launch. This was one of those watch the shed doors moments where people are zooming in on blurry photos, counting decks, hunting for helipads, because Lurssen doesn't announce yachts. Lurssen reveals them, and this one is called Boardwalk. Now here's the part that's going to mess with your brain. The headline you'll see everywhere is $117 million. But that number? That's the trap, because 117 isn't the price, it's the length. And once you understand what this yacht actually is, its size, its volume, and what's visibly packed into 6 decks, you realize the real question isn't who built it. The real question is, how do you even build something like this without anyone seeing what's inside? Why this launch has everyone watching. Boardwalk is a 117-meter Lurssen custom build, previously known publicly as Project 13,797, and it was launched in early December 2025, with multiple reports pinning the launch date to December 5th, 2025. It emerged from Lürssen's facilities in the Bremen area, often referenced as Lemwerder/Bremen, before moving into the river for the next phase. And here's what makes it different. This isn't a concept yacht. This isn't a showroom yacht. This is a private mega build, the kind where details are intentionally scarce, the owner is deeply involved, and the public learns the specs by basically playing detective. So today, we're going inside Boardwalk using what's actually been confirmed or clearly visible from the launch footage and reporting, and we're going to build the picture piece by piece. And the deeper we go, the more insane it gets. Number 1. The shed door moment. Here's what happened. On launch day, Boardwalk didn't quietly appear in Monaco with champagne and a press kit. She came out the way the biggest builds do, out of a construction shed surrounded by shipyard buildings that suddenly look tiny. And if you've never watched a super yacht launch like this, it's hard to explain how dramatic it is. Because in that moment, your brain finally understands scale. Not big yacht scale, city block scale, and that's the first reason everyone's watching this build. Boardwalk isn't just long, she's massive. But the wildest part, length isn't even the real flex. Number 2, 117 meters. But the real number is 5,350. Let's talk about the number that actually changes everything. 5,350 GT. That's the reported gross tonnage attached to Boardwalk by industry reporting and directories. And GT isn't weight, it's volume, how much enclosed space this yacht has, which is why yacht insiders care more about GT than they do about the headline length, because a yacht can be long and still feel sleek. But once the GT explodes, that's when you're dealing with a floating property, a floating hotel, a floating private resort. One report breaks it down like this. The previous Boardwalk yacht in this owner's lineage was 76.5 meters and roughly 1,900 GT. This new one jumps to about 116 to 117 meters and 5,350 GT, nearly a threefold jump in volume. So when people say it's bigger, they're not saying it's longer. They're saying it's a completely different category of living space. And once you realize that, the next detail hits even harder. Boardwalk is built with 6 decks. 6. Now you're probably thinking, okay, 6 decks on a yacht is impressive, but what's actually on those decks? This is where it gets unreal. Number 3. The exterior. Classical, until you look closer. Multiple sources describe Boardwalk's look as rooted in classical lines and a more timeless and traditional profile, designed by Frank Woll with interior work also tied to Amy Halffman. And you can see it. From a distance, Boardwalk looks clean, composed, almost restrained. But then your eyes start catching the details. The long glazing bands, the layered terraces, the stepped deck lines that just keep going, and a bow that looks elongated, like it was designed to feel grand even before you step on board. This is the Lurssen trick. They make something the size of a skyscraper look like it's wearing a tailored suit, and once that clicks, you notice the next thing. Because it's not subtle, it's a statement. Boardwalk has 2 helipads, not 1, 2, and one of them is described as certified, positioned forward on the guest deck. But the helipads are just the start, because the feature that really tells you what Boardwalk is built for is water, and not in the swim off the back way, in the private resort way. Number 4, the pools. This is where the wow starts stacking. Okay, here's what reporting and visible imagery point to. Boardwalk has a main deck pool and an adjoining spa pool at the aft end. That alone is already a flex, because on most yachts, a pool is a centerpiece. On Boardwalk, it's part of a whole zone. And then there's another pool visible higher up. A second pool on the upper deck, reported as substantial with steps leading down into it, hinting at real depth. So now you're looking at a yacht with multiple pool areas, multiple helipads, 6 decks, and we haven't even gotten to the part that turns a yacht into a lifestyle machine, the beach club. Boardwalk is described as having a sizable, multi-level beach club area and a generous swim platform designed for that waterline living experience. That's the zone where the yacht stops feeling like transportation and starts feeling like a floating villa with its own private coastline. But here's the cliffhanger. Those are just the obvious features, the stuff you can see. The next details are the ones that tell you what kind of owner commissioned this yacht, because they're not about showing off. They're about staying on board for a long time. Number 5. The lifestyle clues that give away the real purpose. In the reporting, Boardwalk is repeatedly framed as a family retreat, a yacht built for entertaining, relaxing, and multi-generational living, not just quick, flashy trips. And then you see the lifestyle features that confirm it: a spacious gym, a putting green, which sounds random until you realize something. This yacht is designed to keep you busy without ever needing land. That's what giant yachts actually compete on at this level. Not how shiny is the marble, but how completely can this replace the outside world? Now, the moment you start thinking like that, you're ready for the detail that makes Boardwalk especially interesting. It's not just a new yacht, it's the next upgrade in a long-running Boardwalk story. Number 6. Why the name Boardwalk is a huge clue. Boardwalk isn't a random name, it's a legacy. Reporting points to this yacht being the successor to a 76.5-meter feed ship also called Boardwalk, delivered in 2021. And it goes further. Multiple sources describe the owner as a long-time US yacht owner with a lineage of yachts carrying the same name. That's important because it tells you something about the build philosophy here. This isn't someone buying their first yacht. This is someone who already knows exactly what they like, and then decides to scale it up into an entirely different universe. And that's why the yacht world is watching. Because when experienced owners go bigger, they don't just add features. They redesign how the yacht flows, how it moves, how it feels to live on board. In fact, Lurssen has been quoted as saying the owner was deeply involved, down to overall layout and onboard flow. So the yacht isn't just a build, it's a custom solution, a personal world. Which brings us to the question that your title teased: the price. Because that $117 million number? Yeah, let's finally deal with it. Number 7. The price. Why $117 million doesn't make sense. Here's what we actually know. Boardwalk's official cost has not been publicly confirmed in the mainstream reporting we do. That's normal for a private Lürssen build. But we can still talk about estimated cost responsibly by looking at what different outlets speculate and why. Some articles and Yacht Watch sources throw around estimates in the hundreds of millions, with claims around $450 million or even closer to $500 million. Again, estimates and speculation, not confirmed pricing. Other social posts float much lower figures, but those often feel like people confusing the 117 in the story. Because the easiest misunderstanding is this: 117 meters becomes $117 million in a headline. But if you look at the yacht's size and volume, 5,350 GT, 6 decks, multiple helipads, multiple pools, $117 million would be the price of a very serious, normal super yacht. Not a top-tier Lurssen mega yacht in the 100-meter plus elite. And here's a reality check that makes the math feel real. The previous 76.5 million feed ship Boardwalk was reported as listed for 165 million euros. So if that category of yacht is already living in 9-figure territory, Boardwalk, the 117 million successor with nearly triple the volume, does not live at $117 million. Not even close. That's why people are obsessed with this build. Because the price isn't just high. The price is in that rare zone where you're not buying a yacht. You're buying an entire floating lifestyle system. Number 8. Why this build feels like a shift in the yacht world. So why did this launch hit so hard? Why are people acting like this is more than just another big yacht? Because Boardwalk is a perfect snapshot of where the ultra top of yachting is going. 1. Private aviation baked in. 2 helipads, including a certified forward pad. 2. Resort-level water zones, main pool plus spa pool plus another upper deck pool. 3. Lifestyle infrastructure, gym, putting green, beach club, big terraces. 4. Silence and secrecy, because even now, interior specifics are still largely under wraps, which is exactly how Lurssen operates at this level. And that last point is huge, because secrecy creates obsession. Every glimpse becomes a headline, every drone shot becomes an analysis, every tiny detail becomes a clue. It's the luxury version of a movie trailer, and it works. The real takeaway. Boardwalk is being described as a family retreat, but let's be honest, at 117 meters, 5,350 GT, 6 decks, 2 helipads, multiple pool zones. This isn't a retreat. It's a mobile private world, a place designed to make the outside world optional. And that's why, even with limited details, everyone's watching this build. Because Boardwalk isn't just big. Boardwalk is a signal of what the very top end of yachting is becoming. Less boat, more floating estate. So here's my question for you. If you had to pick just one feature to steal from Boardwalk, would it be the dual helipad setup, the multi-pool deck layout, or the beach club private coastline vibe? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you want more inside the unreal world breakdowns like this, click the next video on yours on screen.